Okay, well, we've been dancing around this issue long enough. We need to get Catullus into Hendecasyllabic meter. So how do we do that? Well, there are a couple things you need to know about Latin poetry first. You know that the lines are going to be divided into long and short syllables. Well, what does that mean? What is a long and a short syllable in Latin? Well, let's start with the easy part. A short syllable is any syllable that's not long. All right, so we can get that out of the way. The hard part is, what is a long syllable? A long syllable is a syllable that contains a vowel that is long by nature, right? And that could be an A-E-I-O-U that is long. And so that will make the syllable long. If the syllable contains a diphthong, it will be long. Or if it's what's called a closed syllable, that is, if the syllable ends with two consonants in a row, mostly. There are some exceptions to that. Sometimes if the second syllable is an L, then the poet has the ability to decide whether they want to make that a closed or an open syllable. Okay, but we'll look at those examples when we get to them. Okay, and then the last thing you need to know is that there's a lot of slurring and elision in Latin poetry. And that happens if a word ends in a vowel or an M, like, an accusative ending, um. The M is, the theory is that the M probably was pronounced like not like a M, but an oomph, almost like a nasal in French. So it's a little bit weak. So if a word ends in a vowel or an M, and the word coming after it starts with a vowel or an H, then those words will elide. This vowel will be dropped, and then the M could be dropped as well, and then it will just be pronounced as the initial vowel of the next word. So how do we do it? How do we get this charted out into Hendecasyllabic meter? Well, there are a couple of ways to do this. I'll just suggest what I think works. You are lucky to have this meter because it is pretty rigid after you get past the first two syllables. I should change this. The first two syllables are anceps, right? They can be either long or short. But after you get past the third, get to the third syllabus, and you start with the choriamb, d da da d da d da d da, d da da d da 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 da. It follows that same pattern. So whatever is in the third position here has to be long, and whatever is the fourth and fifth syllable, both of them have to be short to fit into this meter. Similarly, the sixth syllable has to be long, seventh short, eighth long, ninth short, and then long, long. So, what you can do is look at your line, if you want, and make some preliminary decisions about what's going to be long and short, what you know. And if you know the quantity of vowels, like in a declensional pattern, you can put those in right away. You can do that if you like. Or you can just work with the meter. So let's take a look at what I mean by that. First, divide the line into, obviously you're not going to do this forever. This is just to get you started and to look at the principles here. You're going to divide it into the syllables, and then you're just going to plot it out, starting from the back. Oh, blast. Starting from the back. Libellum. Libellum. No, okay, now the eighth position, that has to be long. Now the U, in fact, is short by nature, but it is long by position because it's followed directly by an M and then an L. Yeah? Now, if you're somebody with a razor-sharp memory, you might remember that this old adjective novus, the O is short. But you don't need to know that if you're putting it into Hendecasyllabic, because it just fits right there in the seventh position, so it must be short. See? You're using what's given to you to plot this out. The only place where you have any possibility for confusion are the first two syllables, which are anceps. What's that? There. So with the exception of the first two syllables, you have this entire line mapped out. And the only two words you have to look up will be qui and the first syllable of dono. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted there. Okay, so the only ones you don't know are qui dono, and but you can still get most of the line done. Now it happens that the O of dono is long by nature, and the qui of the interrogative pronoun is short by nature. Okay, so this is going to map out like that, and this will be short. Okay, so now you're ready to read it. Qui dono lapidum novum liberum. Qui dono lapidum novum liberum. And that's it. You've done it. All right, and let's put it back into the verse where it belongs. Qui dono lapidum novum liberum. Qui dono lapidum novum liberum. Bravo. There it is. Okay, similarly with the next one. I'll do this one quickly for you. First, we're going to divide it up into syllables. Here we go. Now, as I said, you're not going to do this all the time. It'll drive you crazy. Pumice expolitum. Now, we have a problem right here because pumice ends with a vowel and the next word begins with a vowel. So we have an elision. So this E is going to drop off and it's going to leave us with this as a result. Did you see that? Like this. So there's your syllable. Xex. So let's drop these into the box here. Tum, long. Expoli. That's long. You didn't know that. You may not have known that, but now you do, because the Li is in the 10th position. It's not a diphthong. It's not followed by two consonants, so that I must be long by nature. And you can deduce that from where it fits in this line. Okay, X. That is long, even though the E is short. Let's see. No, it's long by. No, it's short by nature, but the X is treated as a double consonant. So this E, although it's originally short by nature, is scanned long as a syllable because the X is actually a letter representing a GS or a CS sound. It's a double consonant. Little trick there. Okay. That's long. There we go. Then we have these two shorts. Can I drop those in there like this? No. All right. So that goes over there. Good. Do, that's long. Fantastic. Now you don't know whether the RI is long. We got to go back into the and caps here. Tink. Tink. And then the A. Okay, so except for the first two syllables again, unless you happen to know whether aridos is what the quality of those vowels are, you don't know. You have to check, look it up. But from the second syllable on, it goes do, modo pu, micex, poli, tum. Do, modo pum, micex, poli, tum. So let's look up aridos to find out whether either of these vowels is long by nature. All right, I just looked it up, and this A is long, but the I is short. So that's long in this particular line, and then this will be short. Okay, so it'd be arido, 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 modo pum mecex politum. Arido, modo pum mecex politum. arido, modopume expolitum. Okay, so put that back into the verse where it belongs. There you go. Okay, now you can do that only for so long, right? You could drive yourself crazy. It's going to take you weeks to do the simplest little passage. But this is a way to start. You can get good at this technique, and then eventually you don't need this anymore. You're going to get good at recognizing where the known part of the line begins. Let's take a look at this line here. You know it's got to go sole bas. Tu sole bas. Okay, so that's long. Tu blast. Tu sole bas. Tu sole bas. Okay, so let's dig further back into this. Well, if you've got the meter in you deeply, you'll know that the nam has to be long by where it is in the line, but you also know that this syllable is going to be pronounced long because it ends in two consonants. So you've got, and I'm just going to put a long A there. It's not long by nature, it's just long by the way it scans, okay? Nam tu sole bas. That gets us to the choriamb, and the choriamb, you know, is B da da D. Li tibi nam tu sole bas. All right, so you know that this now has to be long. I tibi nam tu sole bas. Okay, so now you are stuck with these two the first two syllables of this line. And you can tell me whether the O is long. It is going to be long by position because it's followed by two consonants. Now you don't know whether this E is long or short. So that one you need to look up. And it turns out that the E is long by nature. So the line goes Corneli te binam tu sole bas. Okay, Corneli te binam tu sole bas. Okay, good. What I'd like you to do next for the in preparation for the next lecture, which will be what, lecture 4, I guess, is to prepare this line here. And let's see what else. This line. This line. And those three, okay? So prepare those 3 lines, and then we'll get some practice doing this. Let's take a look at Yam. Don't forget that, okay, here you have an elision going to occur between the cum and the aus, right? Because this ends in an M, and the next word begins with a vowel or diphthong. So this syllable is going to drop out completely. Similarly here, you have an elision. Don't forget that. Anything else? No. Okay, so prepare those 3 lines, and then we'll come back in lecture 4, and we'll see how you did.